Let me tell you about the time our quiet life in a cozy little neighborhood turned into a wild showdown that still gets my blood pumping. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and my family wife, Olivia, and our 12-year-old daughter, Sophie, thought we'd found our slice of heaven when we moved to Willow Creek, a charming suburb just outside Denver, in the spring of 2024. After years of high-stakes work I can't spill too much about, let's just say I was ready to kick back with a cold one, watch Sophie ride her bike without a worry, and help Olivia heal from a shoulder injury that had been nagging her for months. Our new place was straight out of a dream, a two-story house with a neat lawn, a two-car garage, and a vibe that screamed normal. Or so we thought. It was a crisp April morning when I was out watering the grass, trying to keep it from looking like a desert, when this voice, sickly sweet, like honey laced with venom, hit me from behind. Well, hello there. Welcome to Willow Creek. I turned to see Margaret Hensley, a woman in her late 50s, hair teased to perfection, wearing a blazer that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage. She clutched a clipboard like it was her lifeline, her smile sharp enough to cut glass. "I'm Margaret, your HOA president. We need to talk about some compliance issues." The way she said compliance set off every alarm in my head. I've dealt with enough power-hungry types to know when someone's trying to throw their weight around. Before I could even offer her a coffee, she hit me with it. A $400 inspection fee plus $250 for landscaping standards. That's $650 right out of the gate. I'd done my homework before we bought the place, checked every record, every deed. There was no HOA in Willow Creek. "Ma'am," I said, keeping my cool, "we're not part of any HOA. I won't be paying those fees." Her mask slipped faster than you'd believe. That fake smile vanished, and her eyes turned cold, like she was sizing me up for a fight she was sure she'd win. "You're making a mistake, Mr. Caldwell," she hissed, her voice dripping with threat. I held my ground, years of training keeping my tone steady. "If you keep bothering us with these fake demands, I'll call the cops." Olivia was watching from the kitchen window, and I could feel her tension matching mine as Margaret stormed off, already dialing someone on her phone. That night, I did what I do best, dig. A quick search showed I was just a consultant who traveled a lot, nothing flashy, just a guy providing for his family. But to Margaret, that screamed money. What she didn't know was that my kind of consulting wasn't exactly standard. By evening, I overheard her through the thin walls of her condo 2 doors down, talking to someone named Tony. "They're not paying the HOA fees. Can you lean on them?" His voice, low, professional, dangerous, sent a chill down my spine. "How much are they worth?" he asked. "Consultant, probably loaded. Just needs a nudge," she replied. This wasn't just a nosy neighbor. Margaret was tied to something bigger, and I was ready to find out how deep it went. The next morning, I woke up to "pay or else" scrawled in red paint across our driveway. Sophie saw it first, her eyes wide with fear as she ran inside. "Dad, why would someone do that? How do you tell a kid some people are just crooks and pearls?" Olivia wanted to call the police right then, but I had a hunch. Let's see how far she'll take this. Document everything. Over the next few days, it got uglier. All 4 tires on our SU slashed. Our mailbox smashed to bits, letters scattered like trash. Then, eggs splattered across every window with a note in red marker. "Final warning. Pay HOA fees." Olivia was pacing, her eyes blazing. "They threatened Sophie." "That's it." I nodded, picking up the phone to call Detective Ryan Harper, a local cop we'd met before who seemed sharp. "We've got a harassment problem. Margaret Hensley's vandalizing our property." Harper's voice tightened. "Hensley? She's been trouble before." Within an hour, Harper was at Margaret's place. Even from our porch, I could hear her playing the victim. "Officer, I'm just enforcing legitimate HOA rules. They're the ones causing trouble." Harper wasn't buying it. "One more complaint, and you're looking at charges." I thought that might end it, but Margaret wasn't done. That night, I heard her again, louder, angrier. "Tony, the cops warned me. We need to step it up." Tony's reply was ice cold. "I'll send someone to make it clear." The next afternoon, a black SUV parked across the street. 2 guys in slick suits sat inside, snapping photos of our house, not even hiding it. Sophie ran in, pale. "Dad, they're watching us." Olivia's jaw clenched. They just made a big mistake. That evening, as we sat down for dinner, a knock interrupted us. 2 men stood at the door, suits crisp, eyes dead. Mr. Caldwell, Mrs. Hensley wants her $1,000. Pay up, or things get messy. I kept my voice steady. I don't owe anyone anything. Leave. The second guy leaned in, reeking of cologne and menace. Nice kid you got. Be a shame if something happened. That was their mistake threatening my family. I stared them down. You're threatening us? They smirked, thinking they had me. Just explaining consequences. After they left, Olivia and I had a serious talk. Time to end this, I said. Sophie overheard, her voice small. Why not just call the FBI? I smiled tightly. We'll handle it our way first. Margaret, thinking she had us scared, showed up the next day, smug as ever. Final notice, Mr. Caldwell. $2,000. No games. Olivia stepped forward, fire in her eyes. Show us the HOA charter and your elected board. Margaret faltered, stammering about paperwork in progress. That's when I went to work. A few calls and some digging revealed her pattern. 5 states, 3 years each, fake HOA scams, complaints, then vanishing to start over. She was a pro, but sloppy. I set up cameras, recorded every move, and built a case that'd make any prosecutor grin. Then came Margaret's big play. She showed up with fake bruises, a hidden recorder, and a rehearsed sob story. Pay, or I'll sue, she shrieked, loud enough for neighbors to hear. We're ignoring your illegal demands, I said calmly, knowing she was recording. She stormed off, screaming about calling the cops. That night, we heard her 911 call through the walls. They've been threatening me. I'm scared for my life. She thought she'd won. She had no idea she'd just lit the fuse. Detective Harper called me 20 minutes later. Mr. Caldwell, we've got a report of you threatening Mrs. Hensley. I kept my tone even. Perfect timing, detective. We need to talk when you get here. When Harper arrived, Margaret was outside, fake tears streaming, pointing at our house like it was a crime scene. They threatened to hurt me. Harper listened, then knocked on our door. I invited him in, calm as ever. Detective, I've got something you need to see. His eyebrows shot up. I pulled out my wallet and slid out my FBI badge. Special Agent Ethan Caldwell, Financial Crimes. Olivia stepped forward, flashing her DEA credentials. Agent Olivia Caldwell. We've been documenting Hensley's scam. Harper's jaw dropped. You're both feds? Why didn't you say so? I explained we were on leave, trying to keep it low-key, but Margaret had escalated things too far. We laid out our evidence. Videos of her vandalism, audio of her threats, Sophie's photos of Tony's goons. Harper's face hardened as he realized he'd been played. Outside, Margaret was pacing, waiting for us to be cuffed. Instead, Harper walked out, cuffs in hand, and headed straight for her. Margaret Hensley, you're under arrest for fraud and false police reports. Her face collapsed shock, then panic. They're the criminals, she screamed. I stepped forward. You filed false reports against federal agents running an investigation. Sophie, with perfect timing, piped up. You called the cops to arrest yourself, Mrs. Hensley. The next few hours were a blur of justice. Neighbors came forward with stories of Margaret's scams, $600 here, for $100 there, all for fake violations. Tony and his crew were rounded up by the FBI before nightfall, their operation crumbling because Margaret didn't do her homework. 6 months later, in a federal courthouse, Margaret faced a judge who'd heard it all before. They set me up, she wailed. The judge wasn't having it. 8 years in prison, full restitution to victims. The news went wild. Local woman jailed for multi-state HOA scam. Our neighborhood threw a block party, free from her reign of terror. Neighbors thanked us, kids played without fear, and Harper, off-duty, raised a beer to us. If another HOA nut shows up, I know who to call. This was our home now, forged through fire. But here's where it gets juicy, folks. What if we'd revealed our badges day one? Would Margaret have backed off, or doubled down? Could she have had bigger players behind her we never uncovered? And what about the neighbors who paid her for years? Were they victims, or complicit for staying quiet? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories of justice. Have you ever faced a bully who thought they owned the place? Tell us, let's stir up some debate.